The assault began in the morning. Tanks and APCs moved out to attack. From the very first minutes, the assault met fierce resistance. Ukrainian artillery opened fire. A direct hit struck one of the tanks. They hesitated. A voice shouts over the radio, and the column is forced to retreat immediately. The shell didn't penetrate the tank's armor, but they were still ordered to pull back slightly and wait. From above, the full picture is visible. At the top of the hill, smoke rises from the impact of a cluster munition. A fierce artillery duel is underway here. The decision is made to continue the attack despite the shelling. The tanks regroup and follow orders. They drive onto a dirt road and try to maneuver between explosions. Another tank in the column returns fire while moving. Artillery shells land across the entire area of the Russian assault. At the same time, Ukrainian infantrymen prepare. The tanks drive down the road, getting closer and closer. Suddenly, an artillery shell hits its target. Another tank hits a mine. The vehicle stops, and a Ukrainian drone immediately finishes it off. The rest of the column drives into the open field. Ukrainian positions are now very close. A reconnaissance drone is closely tracking Russian movements. A tank with a mine roller surges forward at full speed, but a surprise awaits. It hits a mine. Smoke appears, but the tank keeps moving. The smoking armored vehicle is almost at the target. A Ukrainian soldier fires an ATGM. The assault continues. The Russians press forward no matter what. They split up. One APC heads for the tree line and two others flank from the sides. A drone catches one of them. A precise strike tears it apart. An APC passes through the tree line and fiercely fires at Ukrainian trenches while simultaneously unloading infantry. During this time, the Ukrainian forces can't do anything. They silently wait for orders as the APC shells their positions. Look at these desperate actions. The APC is burning, but still firing. This gives two other Russian armored vehicles the chance to break through on the left flank. The Ukrainians are still waiting.
The APC will start moving backwards and shooting.
The commander relays all the information. They've spotted the APC approaching.
Bro, it's moving ahead. It's already on its way. It's going to work now.
The flames grow stronger. Russian infantry dismounts and scatters through the tree line, occupying trenches. A Ukrainian drone tracks every enemy movement. It's hard for them to hide among the charred trees. A soldier fires from a trench. But the important thing is that reconnaissance spots that enemy APCs have broken through very deep. Soon, they'll be able to unload infantry. The command post is in shock.
Вони вже на G34, М-ка стоїть на G34. Вони зараз будуть заходити, скоріш за все.
Something must be done urgently.
G34, G35. Орієнтир там лайк.
Meanwhile, the burning APC decides to leave the battlefield. They aren't afraid that it might explode at any moment, as often happens. Ukrainian soldiers are ordered to prepare for close combat. They let the damaged APC retreat because drones are more urgently needed elsewhere. Reconnaissance watches closely. Russian infantry has managed to dismount. Where are the soldiers going? A strike drone approaches the Russians. As they scatter into trenches, the drone drops explosives. Despite this, the infantry occupies the trenches and takes up favorable positions. But the assault groups don't end there. A Russian tank moves into the attack, but suddenly stalls. Ukrainian forces notice this and seize the moment. A drone flies toward the easy target and strikes. Flames appear. The tank still hasn't moved, likely engine problems. The tank detects several more drones on radar and tries to shoot them down with its cannon. Unsuccessfully, the drones still hit their target. The tank backs up and uses a smokescreen but still can't move. They're forced to call for help. Another tank comes to assist. While the crews switch vehicles, a Ukrainian drone manages to fly in and lock onto the new target. The tank tries to escape, but the drone catches up. With a single precise strike, it stops the vehicle. The rescue attempt has failed. The tank is smoking. The panicked infantry flees to cover, hoping the drones won't follow. It's a disaster. Meanwhile, another group of Russian soldiers successfully entered the tree line, and fighting begins in the trenches. The soldiers exchange long-distance fire.
Hit it 1 o'clock, hit it 1. Come on, come on.
Suddenly, a Russian fires an RPG. Very close. The firefight continues. Ukrainian drones enter the battle. They drop grenades directly into the trenches. Russian infantry faces serious problems. They hide in the trenches, trying to wait out the drone assault. Taking advantage of this, Ukrainian soldiers begin to advance. Some provide cover, while others slowly push forward using grenades.
Guys, I'm recharging!
Grenade!
They carefully check each trench.
Work, damn it, work!
The clearing is successful.
The column is paralyzed. The tank is engulfed in flames, and the APC near the forest is hit by artillery. A firefight breaks out between Russian assault troops and Ukrainian soldiers. In a panic, another APC repeats the attempt to break through, but it is impossible. Part of the convoy turns around and retreats. The stopped APCs explode. Meanwhile, a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone detects a huge column of Russian equipment. The coordinates are transmitted to the nearest artillery battery, which opens fire. The artillery uses cluster munitions. This proves to be effective. One of the enemy tanks is hit. A reconnaissance drone detects an enemy column approaching from the other flank. One of the Russian soldiers notices the drone and opens fire. Watch how the Russian tanks begin moving around. They are complicating their maneuvers to confuse the AFU. The first Russian tank appears in the field of vision of the Ukrainian infantry group. The soldiers realize that they are surrounded. The enemy tank begins to break down the defenses.
Ми в оточенні, по нас їбашать танками! По нас танками їбашать, Садриш, по нас танками їбашать!
But in order to capture the AFU positions, Russian troops will have to overcome more than one forest belt and minefield. The first tank is stopped. The second tank makes another attempt. Unsuccessfully. The AFU artillery immediately attacks the stalled armored vehicles.
Вірус, я крайня, плюс. Не стріляти тут нас.
The Bradley covers them with fire. Most of the enemy forces are already close to the Ukrainian defense line. Here, we see that the Russians, instead of the usual tanks with anti-mine trawls, begin to use APCs to clear the way. This ends badly for the latter. The mines create difficulties and slow down the enemy's advance, allowing the AFU artillery to deliver accurate strikes.
Контроль ПК, ці коробочки будуть видвигатися, і ми будемо намагатися закотити шлях до тебе. Головне, тримайте піхоту, наші брати.
Тримайся.
The commander contacts the command post and receives orders to conserve ammunition, as well as to hold their ground. Bradley are already moving forward to evacuate the soldiers. The Russian troops, however, are regrouping. They prepare a flank attack. Gathering in a column, the second wave begins. One of the armored personnel carriers hits a mine. A tank tries to drive around it and also explodes.
Між нами підери. Аль-Каїда, блядь, сам пішов. Вони лівіше, десь на 11. Ну звідти голоса чув.
Later, they report by radio that an attack is not an option, as there are too many enemies. The enemy is trying to outflank and press in from all sides.
Це вони кидають.
There are only 2 targets left in the field. By this point, the evacuation group is approaching the Ukrainians. The commander forms the first group.
До Бредлі дошла, з Бредлі закрила, перевезла магазин і від Бредлі починаєш працювати далі.
One of the Bradleys approaches the position. They need to act quickly. There is too little time. The Bradley retreats. They manage to break out of the complete encirclement.
Потрібно, щоб його одразу забрали медики.
All that remains is to thwart the last Russian attempt to break through. Instead of retreating, the APC launches an attack, fails to notice the mines, and drives over them.